Whoa, check out these funky monetization guidelines.
Hi. I don't usually make videos like this where I'm directly addressing you, the audience, and my fans and, everyone watching. But I felt like this topic was important enough for me to take the time to properly explain what this current change in guidelines means in terms of affecting my channel and countless other shorts animators who are also going to be affected by these changes. But yeah, anyway, let me introduce myself. Hello, everyone. My name is, for the meantime, you guys can call me M or Mr. Sillyman. Yes, that's my name, Mr. Sillyman, if you prefer. I run the Silly Incorporated YouTube channel. You may know us from our countless Dilbert and Dingus animated skits, as we're responsible for making those. Monkey videos, countless monkey videos. We've been creating animated shorts for the past 4 years, and before I get into anything else, I just want to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you all for supporting us this long. It genuinely means the world to me to see so many of you enjoying our content and like connecting with the characters and continuing to come back to see what we create next. Like, that's amazing. Your support has had so much bigger impact on my life than I could have ever imagined. So from the bottom of my heart, like, genuinely, like, thank you all for being here, for watching, and for giving me the opportunity to keep making these silly little cartoons for all of you. I'm truly grateful for every single one of you. But yeah, in terms of the subject at hand, back to the topic. So YouTube a couple days ago has announced a series of changes coming to the platform. So for newer creators wanting to start their channels and grow their platform, these changes include the new requirements to get monetized on YouTube. So instead of wanting 4,000 hours of watch time and 10 million shorts views to be a part of the creator program, they now want 8,000 watch hours and 20 million short views for you to get monetized, which is way harder than before. It's pretty much doubled, right? So that's one thing that's bad about it. For people wanting to start out. And then there's this other guideline that directly concerns monetized YouTube Shorts focused animation channels like mine. And it's this one right here, which is really concerning. Creators who have 10 million qualified views over the last 90 days will be eligible for ads and subscription revenue sharing on Shorts. Channels below this threshold remain in the YouTube Partner Program and continue earning on long-form content, with Shorts revenue sharing automatically resuming once they cross the 10 million views threshold. So 10 million qualified views, so people that watch a short from beginning to end. This new change starting February 1st, 2027 is going to put my channel at risk, because now this means that if I don't have enough short form videos that perform over this threshold, I can risk all of my animations that I've ever uploaded not making me any money, which is a massive problem for me at this moment in time, because shorts is where the majority of my income and views comes from. Although I admit I don't make a crazy fortune on this channel, I do make a good enough amount to rely on to help pay my bills and other animators. As of recently, I average over 10 million views every 90 days. This changes occasionally. Sometimes I could reach up to 20 to 30 million, but that doesn't happen too often. Yeah, so this is what my analytics look like. For the past 90 days, I have reached 13.8 million views, which is 12% more than the previous 90 days. But out of the 13.8 million, only 6.2 million counts as engaged views, which is frustratingly below the threshold mandatory needed to get monetized on YouTube. That means that in order to maintain that level of viewership as an animator, I'd essentially have to push myself to work even harder, animating, potentially uploading as many shorts as I possibly can and putting everything else aside, all in the hopes that maybe I can reach that 10 million view threshold and potentially get paid. The problem is I could potentially put in a full-time amount of work just trying to maintain that viewership whilst neglecting my long-form videos and putting my passion projects like my pilots and short films on the back burner, on the side. And the worst part is I'd be doing all of that without even knowing for certain whether or not my work is actually going to earn me anything. Just for this. For me to maintain this, I'd have to cut corners. I'd have to make animations look more choppier and crappier with less frames. I'd have to make more half-ass videos so I could sustain the demand and inevitably become like a content farm-esque channel, which is something I don't want to do because I want to prioritize good-looking frame-by-frame animations that are genuinely funny. You know, I don't want to just make content for the sake of like, oh, supply and demand, we need like 10 videos a day. It doesn't matter if the joke isn't funny. Like, you have to do it, you have to do something. Like, you know, I want my animations to feel like there was passion put in them. I care about making high quality frame by frame animations, and that's the kind of work I'm passionate about. I don't want to sacrifice that quality simply because I'm being pressured to produce as much content as possible just to remain eligible for revenue sharing. And even if I was some sort of crackhead animator that could animate like 100 things a day, I could spend months putting all of my time and energy into animating some more and more content, only to reach 9.6 million qualified views over those 3 months and just fall short of the threshold. And then what? I'd have to start all over again. It's ridiculous. All this time, effort, and money that my animators have put into these videos could ultimately go unrewarded, whilst we'd be expected to produce even more content just to have another chance at reaching that threshold the following month. Sure, I might grow my community and gain more subscribers along the way, but subscribers and views don't pay the bills if the content itself isn't generating enough revenue to support the people making it. It also means that I have to dedicate virtually all of my time to shorts, whilst neglecting my long form videos and the passion projects I actually want to develop, like the Dilbert and Dinger show, First Contact, the short films I want to make, the long form videos that would potentially make me more money if I focused on them more. This simply isn't a sustainable way of working, especially if you're an animator. For an animator, you can only produce so much content before the quality suffers, the workload becomes overwhelming, and you simply burn out. Expecting creators to continuously produce more and more animations just to maintain access to revenue isn't a realistic or sustainable model for a channel like mine, or for many other animation YouTube short centric channels out there. And all of this, it just leads me to wonder, why is YouTube doing this? Why are they making these changes? Why, as animators, do we just have to keep getting kicked in the nuts over and over and over and over again, and we never get a break? It's so discouraging, you know? Firstly, when it comes to the monetization requirements being doubled, I worry what that means to future animators, for future artists. You know, it's going to completely demoralize aspiring animators who want to jump onto YouTube and try and turn their dream into a career, which is something I want for everyone. Just because I'm capable of making a career on YouTube doesn't mean nobody else watching can. You guys can do it, you know? But I just feel bad for them because now they're just going to be demoralized seeing this because it's like, oh, 10 million views. Well, that's going to be impossible then, pretty much, isn't it? They're going to look at this new ludicrous bar that YouTube has set up and they're going to just think, how the hell am I going to supposed to reach that? And if the goal feels impossible from the start, a lot of people are simply not going to even bother trying. And getting 10 million engaged views is not an easy task to do. Like, and that's coming from me, guys. I make shorts for a living, and I could tell you reaching that number is never guaranteed. As animators, you could literally spend weeks or even months working on a short animation, putting your heart and soul into it, and still having no idea whether it's actually going to perform well or not. Like with YouTube, you never know what's going to go viral and what isn't going to go viral. What's that one quote from Wolf of Wall Street? It's like, oh, we never know if views are gonna go up, down, left, right, sideways. It's all fugazi. It's fairy dust. It doesn't exist. There's no magic formula that guarantees a video is gonna reach millions of people, you know? Sometimes you get lucky and a video completely blows up. Other times you could put an enormous amount of effort into something and it just doesn't take off. That unpredictability is already a huge part of being a content creator. So making the bar even higher feels incredibly discouraging, especially for aspiring animators who are just trying to make their dream a reality. And again, for other short-centric animation channels like myself who are in the same situation, we are now being put in a position where we genuinely have to consider new ways of sustaining ourselves financially, just so we can continue making the videos we're actually passionate about. Now, of course, we can only speculate as to why YouTube has decided to raise the bar this high. Personally, I think it has something to do with the massive influx of automated content. You know, the Tung Tung Sahur interior decorating videos, you know the ones. Particularly the rise of low effort AI generated videos that could be produced and monetized like incredibly quickly with far less effort than traditional animation. Maybe this is their way of deterring content farms and low effort automated channels from flooding the platform. But I think this is kind of stupid because this also creates a double-edged sword, because these guidelines could actually have the opposite effect. If you're forcing creators to constantly produce more and more content just to meet these thresholds, you could actually incentivize more automation. Why spend days or weeks carefully animating a short when automated systems can pump out dozens or even hundreds of pieces of content in the same amount of time? I'm looking at you, Tung Tung Sahur, you fucking ruined this for everyone. Instead of reducing the amount of low effort content, we could end up with even more of it, oversaturating the platform even further, as the animation content creators that are actually trying will be desperately trying to keep up with these new requirements. And meanwhile, the smaller creators, the animators, the artists and independent creators who are genuinely putting time and effort and passion into every video could be the ones left behind. That is what concerns me the most. In trying to combat low effort content, YouTube could unintentionally create an environment where the people producing content at the fastest possible rate have an advantage, whilst the creators who actually take the time to make something meaningful are pushed to the sidelines. I just don't think this is the outcome anyone wants. I just hope YouTube considers the difference between someone mass producing content to hit a number and someone spending days creating a single animation that they genuinely care about and they want people to see. Well, if you're a short-centric animator, what are my other options for monetizing my shorts?
Hey, Mr. Silly, why don't you just move to TikTok? I've heard people make like $1 million making TikTok videos.
Well, YouTube Shorts, Timmy, unfortunately I chose the career of being a frame-by-frame animation-centric YouTube channel, and TikTok's current monetization system has made things incredibly difficult for animators like me. TikTok requires videos to be over 1 minute long to be eligible for its Creator Rewards monetization program, and it didn't used to be like this. Once upon a time, years ago, I was able to make money on TikTok, and there used to be no length limit. You could literally just upload a 10-second, 7-second clip and get paid for that once it got viral. When TikTok's monetization system was more accessible to shorter videos, it was much easier for animators to actually participate. But now, if I want to make money on TikTok, I need to consistently produce more than a minute of completely new animation. And if you're not an animator, that might not sound like a big deal unless you understand how long frame-by-frame animation actually takes. A casual, modern Dilbert and Dinger short that's only a few seconds long can take me nearly an entire week to animate. 1 minute's worth of animation can take me an entire month. So imagine trying to produce over a minute of complete original animation consistently month after month just to potentially qualify for monetization. Again, that's if a video goes viral. I could risk me spending all that effort and the video not going viral. And even if I somehow manage to do that and the video goes viral, there's still no guarantee that I'd actually make money. Whenever I've managed to create a brand new animation that fits the guidelines, that fits the 1 minute requirement and starts gaining traction, TikTok, as a knee-jerk reaction, has repeatedly demonetized it, sometimes claiming it's reused content from another channel, or even mistaking my animation for AI-generated content. And whenever I've given the opportunity to appeal these decisions, my appeals have all been rejected. Every single time. This has been an ongoing problem for me for the past couple of years. And I have not made a decent paycheck on TikTok for, God, I don't know, like years. I make literal pennies on TikTok, less than pennies. And it's not just me. So many influencer animators are going through this exact same problem too. And some of them have just stopped uploading on TikTok altogether.
Well, why don't you just take a few of your reels and loop them together over and over again to reach that 1 minute threshold?
Yeah, unfortunately they've patched that. Reusing or looping existing content can also be treated as reused content, so that really isn't a viable solution anymore. And because of TikTok being like this, that's why I always preferred YouTube Shorts to TikTok, because the monetization program was more feasible for animators. The Shorts monetization model has historically been more compatible with the way animators actually work. YouTube can continue generating revenue from a short long after you originally uploaded it. A video doesn't have to immediately go viral for it to have value. It's It's like stocks. For example, this Michael Jackson video that I uploaded years ago performed horribly when it was initially uploaded, and just now, after all these years, it's spiking up and I'm making money off of it. TikTok would never do this for me. I could upload a short that performs terribly, and then a year later, it could suddenly go viral. I could still benefit from those views. TikTok feels much more limited in comparison for animators, because if a video doesn't take off within its initial window, it often feels like that opportunity to make meaningful money from it has passed. And that's a huge problem for animators, because we simply cannot produce content at the same rate as someone who could just turn on a camera and film themselves for a few minutes. But yes, you can absolutely make a living off of TikTok, but for live action creators like the Rizzler or the Australian pepper guy that eats peppers and cries and stuff, it's much easier for them to record 1 minute's worth of monetizable content consistently, because they could simply turn on a camera, film themselves in live action for a few minutes, then upload it. For an animator like me, it's a completely different story. Every second of content has to be carefully drawn, animated, edited, and rendered before it can even be uploaded. We have to create every single second of footage by hand. Animators have always had a different production process, which is fundamentally different and harder. But just because I'm saying this, by all means, no disrespect to the Rizzler and his team and, the Australian pepper guy and any live action TikTokers out there. Like, you're making your living, you're grinding, and that's great, and I respect that. And that's why YouTube Shorts has always been so valuable to me. I could spend a week making a few second animation, upload it, and know that it could potentially continue earning revenue long into the future. But now, with these proposed changes to Shorts monetization, I'm worried that YouTube is moving towards the same kind of limited window model that has made TikTok so difficult for animators. And honestly, that is really concerning. Because if YouTube Shorts becomes another platform where I have to consistently chase viral numbers within a specific time frame just to get paid, what other options do animators like me actually have? That's the problem. We're not making content slowly because we don't want to work. We're making it slowly because animation takes time. And I really don't want the answer to be, oh, just make more content. Because at some point, there simply isn't any more time to squeeze out of the day.
Well, why don't you try getting monetized on Instagram? I heard people on Instagram make $1 million.
What about Instagram? There is no monetization program! Okay, technically speaking, Instagram does have monetization features, but there really isn't a clear, publicly accessible monetization program with straightforward requirements that any creator can work towards. A lot of these opportunities are invitation-based. And even if you do get invited, honestly, I think you're more likely to see Bigfoot than be invited to the Instagram monetization program. You generally need to have already built a very substantial following before you're even considered. And even if you do get invited, I've heard from other content creators that the amount of money you get isn't even great anyway. So yeah, no point. So where does this leave animators? Because honestly, animators really need a better alternative for making a living off of short form content. If these YouTube changes go ahead, there may not be a single reliable platform left where animation creators can consistently earn money from the short style content we spend so much time producing. When I first heard this news last night, I was like tweaking, man. I felt like I was being made redundant. I felt like, by February 1st, you will, not be able to continue. Like, that's what it felt like. Even though I know that's not the case, I'm still, I'm not quitting the channel. Yeah, it just had that same feeling of being made redundant. Because when you're a creator, these videos don't just become a hobby. They inevitably snowball into becoming a career. This is something I rely on. This is something that I work on to support myself, to pay my bills, and to pay all my talented animators who help me make these videos better and more frequently. And suddenly having a major source of that income potentially taken away through a policy change through no fault of your own is just a really scary thing to process. But again, I've had some time to sit with this. I literally couldn't sleep last night because I just kept thinking, oh God, what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What are we gonna do? What am I gonna do with this channel? But I've talked to other people who are in the same situation, and I've actually reflected on what I want to do moving forward. And I'm going to try and look at this as an incentive rather than just a death sentence on my channel. Maybe this is the push I need to take my long form content more seriously. My long form videos obviously don't perform anywhere near as well as my shorts right now, but there is a potential upside. If I can eventually bring my long form content up to the same level of viewership, I could potentially generate significantly more revenue. And that could allow me to continue supporting myself, continue paying the animators who work for me, and ultimately give me more freedom to make the projects I actually want to make. So whilst I'm still incredibly concerned about these changes for myself and for others and for you guys, any aspiring animators out there who want to pursue YouTube, I'm still not going to give up. If anything, I'm going to use this as motivation to try something different, to improve the channel, and hopefully build a future where I'm not completely dependent on Shorts revenue to keep everything running. What's the future of this channel? We have said this before, but the plan was always to prioritize more meaningful passion projects, even before the whole guideline change. Things like our short films, pilots, and other long form projects, because we want to take ourselves a little more seriously in terms of the animation field. I genuinely believe that we are capable of so much more than what we're traditionally known for, and I want to use this channel as a way to explore that potential, because even though we've built our following through Shorts, we've kind of unintentionally typecasted ourselves as a brain rot channel, a YouTube Shorts channel, and if you look at our analytics, YouTube categorizes our videos with brain rot kind of slop channels, and it's we've unintentionally kind of typecasted ourselves to be in that niche. We've been really trying to get out of that niche because I truly think we're capable of so much more. We want to start prioritizing narratives that people actually care about, characters people can identify with, visually stunning animation and visuals, ones that make you feel emotions other than and then you scroll your phone and then watch your next reel, you know what I mean? However, with these new guidelines coming into play, I honestly don't know how financially sustainable it will be for us to continue producing YouTube Shorts after February 1st. So for the remainder of this year, whilst the current monetization system is still in place, we are going to shift our trajectory a little bit, and we'll be focusing on making as many Dilbert and Dingus Shorts as we reasonably can, whilst we still have the ability to earn revenue from them. Then starting in February, our primary focus will shift towards long-form content. That doesn't mean we're abandoning Dilbert and Dingus or Shorts forever. It just means that we have to start looking at the channel differently and figure out how we can build something that's financially sustainable for us in the long run. So what we've been doing actually is that we've been getting Dilbert and Dingus Shorts and adjusting them to widescreen so it can fit a widescreen format. So it gives fans the incentive to watch our long form videos more. So you get to see a widescreen version of those beloved shorts. And speaking of long form, here's a little sneak peek of one of our upcoming projects featuring two certain monkeys. Take a look.
Right, Dingus, listen up. When approaching the female, you need to stay cool, act nonchalant, pretend like you haven't even noticed her.
Nonchalant, okay.
Then, once you've noticed her, you need to press your cheeks together like this and do a fart noise with your mouth. No more than 3 times. Nothing more, nothing less. This is very important. Are you writing this down? You're not writing this down.
So how can you support us in the meantime and help bring these passion projects to life faster? If you'd like, I know nobody likes donating money, but if you'd like to directly support the channel and our animators, you can donate literally as little as $3 a month through our Patreon. In return, you'll get access to sneak peeks, previews, upcoming clips, and behind the scenes content from some of the projects we're working on. And if you just can't be asked to spend any money whatsoever, I completely understand that, but you could still help us a lot and spend no money by simply watching our long form videos from beginning to end. Seriously, watching, liking, commenting, and sharing those videos helps tell YouTube that there's an audience for our long form content, which can help give us more engagement and which can also help for us to reach more people and build that side of the channel further. Ultimately, we want to get to a point where we can make the ambitious projects we're passionate about without having to sacrifice the quality of our work just to keep up with the algorithm. So whatever happens with these guidelines, that's the future I want to work towards, and I really hope you guys stick around for the ride because we've got a lot of stories we want to tell. What can we animators do? I understand that this can all feel really hopeless, And I'll be honest, I feel really bad for newer animators who are passionate about art and are coming into YouTube hoping to turn that passion into a career. Seeing that bar raised this high can already be incredibly discouraging, especially when you're just starting out and trying to find your footing in an industry that's unwelcoming and extremely competitive. And on top of that, we're now dealing with increased competition across the board, with more and more creators entering the space every day. And to make things even harder, we also have to deal with the growing presence of AI generated content, which is flooding platforms at an unprecedented rate, making it harder for original artists to stand out, harder for audiences to identify and find handcrafted work, and harder for animators to feel like their time and effort is being valued in the way it should be. But I don't want you to look at this and think that your dream is over. Don't ever give up. On the bright side, you still have the next 6 months to take advantage of the current monetization system. Use that to experiment, upload your shorts, find your audience, build your community, and establish yourself whilst the current system is still in place. Your time is now. Any ideas you have for shorts, you have no time to contemplate, and you need to do that right now whilst you have time. And with all these changes eventually coming into effect, I'd suggest adapting rather than abandoning what you've built. If you're already a content creator watching this and you're already making shorts, consider taking those shorter stories and expanding them into long form videos, compilations, episodes, or a larger narrative project that can live on YouTube in a different format. It might mean changing in the way you approach your channel, but it doesn't mean you have to stop creating. Because in the end of the day, the numbers and the algorithms don't define you as an artist. If you have a story you want to tell, characters you want to bring to life, or a style of animation you're passionate about, don't let platform changes, rising competition, or AI convince you that your work has less value. YouTube will change, algorithms will change, monetization will change, and the industry will always keep shifting. But your ability to create something meaningful doesn't have to. So you get that pencil and you get that pen and you keep drawing, you keep animating, you keep experimenting, you keep failing, and you keep improving. And if you're a young animator watching this thinking, maybe I'm never going to make it, I want you to remember this. Every animator you admire started in the exact same place. Your glitches, your has-been hotels, they were all made by people that were uncertain, overlooked, trying to find their voice in a crowded space. Don't give up on the dream just because the road got harder. Learn to walk on a different one. This was a subject I really wanted to talk about. I just really wanted to convey to everyone how hard it is being an animator right now. I really believe we can get through this and that the human spirit is prevalent and strong. But that's all I had to say. So thank you for listening to me rant. And also help support us on our Patreon if you can. And yeah, man, we've got tons of projects down the line and I can't wait for you guys to see them. Also, fuck AI.